Uncle Ben got it backwards. He said, with great power comes great responsibility. But there's very powerful people all over the planet that behave like children and are completely irresponsible with what they do with their power and influence. In theory, it would be wonderful if everybody had the perspective that with great power comes great responsibility. But what is more objectively true is with great responsibility comes great power. This is to say that everybody who takes ownership and who takes full responsibility of their life will find themselves to be extremely powerful creators over their life. If you shed any sense of a victim mentality and start to assume 100% responsibility over everything, then you will in fact become very empowered, because now the ball is in your court. This perspective shift grants you the power to make changes that you wish to see in your life. There was a man named William James. Although born into a wealthy family, William had some terrible health complications in his early years. He had terrible back spasms, trouble hearing, and was partially blind. Because of all this, he battled with depression and contemplated taking his own life. He began to make plans to take his own life before he decided to first run a little experiment. He said that for the next year, he would take 100% responsibility for everything that happened in his life. And he would do everything he could to put himself in more favorable circumstances. If his experiments proved to be a failure and the outcome remained the same, then he would, in fact, take his own life. Well, a year later, his life turned around drastically. He went on to live a very successful life. He became one of the fathers of American psychology, a Harvard professor, and a father of 5. This is the power of radical responsibility. You can turn everything around as soon as you entertain the notion that you have the power and the means to do so. And that is what taking responsibility for your life looks like. Now, before I end this video, I want to address one of the main rebuttals to this notion of radical responsibility. Some people may hear what I'm saying and think that it is very insensitive. They might think, well, some people are just born into terrible situations. Surely they're not responsible for that. But to think this way is an error, and it is not accurately representing what I am trying to convey. See, to have this notion that people who are born into poor circumstances aren't responsible for it is to conflate responsibility with fault. Surely it is nobody's fault that they are born into certain conditions. If I get robbed at gunpoint, surely I am not at fault for being robbed and for losing all of my possessions. But I am now responsible to decide what to do about it and to decide how I can move forward and what I can do to put my life in a more favorable circumstance. So this is where it is important not to conflate fault and responsibility. Just because you are responsible for something, it doesn't necessarily mean it is your fault. That is not what I'm saying. However, to simply dismiss something as, well, that's not my fault, that's not my responsibility, is giving away your power. Yes, it's not your fault that perhaps you were born into poor conditions, but it is your responsibility to create the life that you want to live for yourself. And that is why Uncle Ben was wrong. It's not with great power comes great responsibility. It's with great responsibility comes great power. Start turning your life around today. Start taking radical responsibility for everything going on in your life and watch how everything changes. If you like this video, guys, be sure to subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Take care.